And I got it. I thought it would be quicker, but it was I came in at 9 and 20 seconds after 9, and there's already 3 people ahead of me. I'm not sure how that happened, but I had to sit in line because it's not just as easy as, hey, where's my card, you know? And they changed the design, so but pretty much looks like a credit card with a magnetic stripe. But before they release this to you, this TWIC, Transportation Workers Identification Card, it's pretty strict. They have to activate it, right? So you cannot use it, you cannot show it at the port as an ID card unless it's activated, you know? And so I had to wait in line, and then the guy goes on the storage locker, finds my card, and then I still have to do a fingerprint just to confirm it's me. Like, I'm telling you, it's so strict. Like, you would think, right, you're ordering a card, like let's say you're ordering a Visa card or something, right? That one is also should be strict because it's about money. But once you approve, they just send you the card in the mail and it's working. Well, actually no, you still have usually to call a number, right, to activate the card. Yeah, that's at least that's how it works in Canada. When they send you the card, they put a big sticker on it, call this number to activate the card, otherwise it's not going to work. And so you call that, but it's all over the phone and it's automatic, like there's a robot answering your call. Right here you have to talk to a live human being who actually puts your card in a special reader hooked up to his computer, and then you have to enter the code which you create. Like, and I still have the old code. He says, yeah, that one still works, like your own PIN number. You enter that PIN number to confirm it's you, and then they do the fingerprint. Man, so now I'm ready to go back, and I called from here the truck place. And I'm not sure what's happening with my broker here. The broker who gave me the load for Thursday, maybe he's not in, but I tried one of his addresses. It was returned as invalid. Montreal to Missouri, RG unload, 87,000 pounds. 48 long, forget it. Anyway, now might be a good time to try calling again. Russian Consulate. These people. They never answer the phone. I hope you guys could hear this. So it's all in English, right? It says after like 3 rings, you hear the greeting, which prompts you to leave a message, and it says record after the tone. As soon as the tone beeps, beep beep, the line disconnects. Like, this is kind of like насмешка, you know, in Russian, like they're making fun of you. And I dialed this number probably Friday. I dialed like 20 times non-stop. As soon as I heard the voicemail greeting, I would hang up and redial. And nobody picks up the phone. They're supposed to be open at 9. Same as this place, 9 a.m. Monday. But basically what's happening with this,
the tone. When finished recording,
now listen.
Press pound for more options. Record at the tone.
Did you hear that? As soon as it beeps, it's basically meaning probably the voicemail, the voicemail box is full of some stuff like that. But it's how can it work like this? You know, it's a government office, and basically there's no way to contact them. It takes them 10 days to answer your email. So, because what I realized is that, you know, I was under the wrong impression that I was doing this a cop came out of nowhere there, and then he went back in. So I was under the impression that, you know, when I needed to do, 1 second. Sorry about that, but I think my lens was dirty. I probably put a finger on it. So I was under the impression that, you know, when I tried to renew my Russian passport, because that one expired, because it expired, they said, no, we cannot just renew it like that, even though they can see my passport and I'm on their computer, right? No, you have to go through this confirmation of citizenship procedure, right? And somehow I was under the wrong impression that at the end of that tunnel, there'll be a new passport. But turns out applying for a new passport is different than confirming your citizenship. Because I was just there on their website, and it clearly says that, well, if your passport expired, you have to do the подтверждение гражданства, confirm your citizenship, and only when your citizenship was confirmed, you can go to this other page and apply for the new passport. And they said the typical application for a new passport takes about 3 months. So, and now it's November, right? So it takes from June. I send them all the documents. I filled out June 11th, and I send them by express post. So I know they should have gotten them right away. And then the only time I heard from them, when I sent them an email in the beginning of September, then 2 weeks later I got an email reply saying that, yeah, your documents are received, they're being worked on, we are awaiting the answer from the Russian Federation. And that was in September, basically 2 months ago. So now I'm trying to call them. I send them emails. I'm thinking maybe I should just send them a fax or something. Maybe they'll read a fax, you know. That's probably what I should do, because I want to know if they received the confirmation. Then I can go through this procedure online. You have to fill out an electronic application, print it out, and book an appointment. So I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna get it before the end of the year. So I contacted the seller of my accordion, you know, the second accordion that I'm supposed to get, this custom one that that's been in the works since I gave them a deposit in July or August, and they promised me it'll be ready by the end of the year. I said I want to come myself and pick it up and take it back to Canada, right? And so I contacted the guy, and I said, I'm sorry, it looks like I won't be able to come if they don't give me the passport. I cannot come as a Canadian citizen. That's the law in Russia. If you have 2 citizenships, you have to go as a Russian first with a valid Russian passport. And so I don't want to go in January or February or something like that. But it just takes forever. It's such bureaucracy. It just reminds me, you know, of the reasons why I left Russia in the first place. And you look at I even thought about denouncing the citizenship, but the procedure to denounce the citizenship is worse than getting the new passport. Because it's not like, you know, you would think, right? You go or you tear up your passport or something like that. No, you have to go through a certain procedure. You have to do the application. You have to have some witnesses. Then you have to get a letter from the revenue, you know, the tax agency of Russia, to make sure you don't owe them any money. And only then you can denounce your citizenship, because that would be easy. You know, if I didn't have the stupid dual citizenship, I could have used my Canadian passport, just go and buy a visa for $75 and fly to Russia, right? But because of this, even though I'm a Russian citizen, I'm in a worse position than a Canadian citizen, you know, all because I have the dual citizenship. And they have this rule about the superiority of the Russian citizenship over all other citizenships. Like, they don't care if you're a citizen of Israel, Australia, and Russia. As long as Russia is somewhere there on the list, you must arrive into the country under the valid Russian passport. And some countries, they do it like this, right? And they say, yeah, in some emergency situations we can give you свидетельство, certificate. And then fine print says, basically, let's say you have a death of a relative, or you're relocating back to Russia, you know, and then fine print under that, basically, if you don't have a valid passport, the embassy at its own discretion, or consulate rather, you go see them, you show them all your IDs, they can issue you this kind of like a temporary one time of a deal, like a singular use certificate confirming your identity. But then in the fine print it says, make sure that you're traveling one way only, because that certificate, that's pretty much was designed for people that want to go back to Russia. You know, let's say they're fed up with they don't like Canada anymore, they want to live in the beautiful country of Russia, so but they lost their passport or something, so they give you the certificate. So anyway, they said if I were to get that, I would go to Russia and I wouldn't be able to get out, because they said that's only one way, and to get a passport from inside Russia, it'll take another 4-6 months, you know. It's kind of like with this kind of deal, which reminds me, I gotta get going. But there's a Seneca next door. I think I'm gonna load up on some cheap gas before going, because it's still cheaper here than in Ontario. Because you know what I paid last time? Because my car, it's a nice car, right? So 5.7 Hemi. I don't like using regular gas, so I use premium, which is 91. Well, at least in Canada, right? So over there mostly we have 87, 91 and 93. But 93 it's too crazy, I don't need that one. And last time I came in my truck and, you know, to do this, and there's nowhere to park. Okay, gas is, what is it, 3.49 for a basic one. Okay, which side is my tank? Left side. Okay, I think we can go here. Okay, I'm not sure I can turn in here, but I'm an alien. All right, which way is this way? 93. Oh wow. Okay, premium is 409, but that's still better than in Canada, I think.
In 200 meters, turn left onto the New York 400 North ramp to I-90. Turn left onto the New York 400 North ramp, then keep left at the fork. Keep left at the fork. Continue for 1 kilometer.
exactly where I got into trouble when I was driving my Challenger on the way from New York City. I think it was here. Yeah, right before the I-90 thruway. The speed limit changes to 55. Where was that guy sitting? I don't remember. Oh yeah, and there was
In 600 meters, take the exit toward I-90 East.
there was turn around. Oh yeah, somewhere here. He was sitting somewhere here where he can turn around, and he was sitting on the other
Take the
side.
exit toward I-90 East.
Okay, I-90 East. All right. Maybe a bit earlier.
In 3 kilometers, take exit 53 for I-190 toward downtown Buffalo, Niagara Falls.
So I got the card, and I asked the guy, I said, do you think I have to go to that website of the C terminal to update it? And he says, no. But once I remember, you know, my driver's license, right, updates every 5 years or so. And
In 800 meters, take exit 53 for I-190 toward downtown Buffalo, Niagara Falls.
my TWIC was still active, but my driver's license renewed. And so I tried to enter the port, and they said, well, you didn't go to the website, you had to re-register.
Take exit 53.
I said, what are you talking about? I have my TWIC card didn't change. And they said, well, something changed, either your license plate changed,
Continue for 11 kilometers.
or maybe your driver's license changed. And I'm like, holy moly, yeah, you're right. I said, it just renewed, but the number is the same, right? Like when your driver's license is updated in the same state and the same province, the number is the same, but what changes is the expiry date, right? Expiration date. And that's what the system flagged, that hey, this guy has a expired driver's license. And man, she let me in, but she called the cop. Like, she says, well, you have to wait here, the cop has to come over. So the guy comes over, and of course he decides to do a level 1 inspection. You know, like these people. Like, I'm sitting inside the port, there's a liner behind me, he's doing a level 1 inspection. Okay, left signal, right signal. Okay, honk your horn. Show me your windshield wipers. Sometimes, you know. And so now I remember. That's why I'm cautious about this, right? So I'll make sure before I remember the name of that website. Somewhere in the back of my mind, I'm gonna find it out. But it's the website where you actually have to pre-register before you apply for the TWIC. You have to pre-register on that website. And I have a username and password, so I just have to go in and make sure that my TWIC, the new TWIC, is there. If it's not, I gotta do something, right? Otherwise they won't let me get into a port. Oh, and also they have a bunch of ports, and you have to basically let them know which port you're gonna go to. And I think I only chose Baltimore because that's where most of the time I'm going. But there's a bunch of ports, so if you're not registered, you know, for that port, you have to do it online before. Let's say I found a load and I'm loading it in the port, at the seaport in Tacoma, Washington. So I would have to go online and, you know, make sure I'm okay. But I'm telling you guys, this is a big deal. This TWIC card, man, it's like one visit. If you don't have it, you can easily spend $200-300 US on a pilot that has to be with you when you're inside the port, because it's 4 or 5 hours. And like I mentioned before, 5 years ago they charged 40 or 45 bucks an hour. So I'm pretty sure now it's probably like 60. You know, so they'll charge you 250, 300 bucks, depending how long you're there. So I'm very glad that I got it. Okay, I have my passport. Where's my proof of vaccination? Is on my iPhone. Where's my proof of the negative test result? Is on my phone in the form of an email. And I flagged that one so I can easily find it. And there's some kind of a crash on QEW on the Canadian side, so Google Maps says basically you screwed. The delay is 50 minutes. Well, we'll keep you updated. That's something new, you know. We'll for now, this is the fastest route. We'll keep you updated. So if a faster route becomes available, they will let me know. And so yeah, I changed, by the way, you see this? 6.2. Like, it's so cool. All I have to do is just push the OK button. I push the OK button 100. If I push this, 62 miles an hour, 63. So, and that's the difference between a Canadian car and an American car. And the other difference is that all Canadian cars...
There's a COVID-19 checkpoint on Peace Bridge ahead.
Oh, really? COVID-19 checkpoint. That's where I'm headed. So yeah, the difference between Canadian cars and US cars, of course, the speedometer, the larger numbers are kilometers. Actually, mine doesn't even have miles. Like on the older versions, you would have large numbers outside for kilometers, and then the smaller numbers will be inside for miles. But now, because I have this, right, because I have a digital speedometer, I can change to miles, so they don't give you that anymore. But another difference is that
3 kilometers. Use the right 2 lanes to take exit 9 for Peace Bridge.
all Canadian cars have daytime running lights. I think in US I see more and more of this, but I still see quite a few cars that, you know, during the day there's no light in the headlights, right? And that would not be possible in Canada, whereas it's the law. You have to have a daytime running lights. Okay. And so this is the route I've taken so many times since the COVID pandemic started, except now I'm coming back in my car. I remember first time I was crossing the border, I was really confused, you know, where do you stop? Like, because, you know, because they're so strict. You don't want to make a mistake, they start screaming at you, they right away they put their hands on their guns, you know, why did you do that? What are you doing here? Show me your hands. Man. But first time, I had no clue that you don't have to stop on, let's say I'm going into US, right? And I'm leaving Canada. I did not know that you don't have to stop on the Canadian side. I still remember, I'm going from Canada and I see like there's nowhere to stop and all the signs say trucks, keep right, and I'm keeping right and I'm going straight on the bridge and next thing I know it says welcome to US, and I'm like, and I'm thinking, man, I think I screwed up, now they're gonna arrest me or something. And then you go to the US side, and that's where you deal with customs, right? You only deal with customs on the opposite side, unless you have a unless you have a export or something, exporting machinery where you have to stop on the, let's say if I'm exporting a machinery from US to Canada, I have to stop on the US side first and get my paperwork stamped. Okay, my mask is on. Now let's see how many cars are there on the Canadian side. So that's where I was sitting, probably 10 minutes. Oh, look at this. It's empty. Man. Empty. You see this? For some reason, probably everybody thought the same thing, you know, like, oh man, it's gonna be crazy first day. But no, because first of all, you have to be fully vaccinated, and a lot of people still have objection to that on both sides of the border. And secondly, returning to Canada
200 meters, continue straight to stay on Peace Bridge.
can be pretty complicated, right? Okay, I gotta take off my phone and get ready, because I have to show them my pre-arrival thing. I did on that arrive can. That would be like the first time I use it. Okay, now we can switch to kilometers.
Continue straight to stay on Peace Bridge.
Okay, so if I'm not arrested and I'm not put in jail on the Canadian side, we'll continue recording.
600 meters, continue straight.
And I'm back, and I'm not arrested. I'm still a free man. No people. There was like one guy ahead of me, and I saw he was arguing with the guy, like they were exchanging some kind of a big piece of paper. And so I come in, I shut down my engine because I thought it would take a long time, you know. And he says, I show him my pre-arrival thing. He doesn't even look at it. He says, okay. And I give him my passport. And I say, I said, I'm a trucker, so I just went across to pick up this. And I show him the TWIC card. And the receipt was still on my passport, right? The receipt. And he said, okay, and I see your negative test result. And I said, sure. I said, except I wasn't able to import it into the health app on the phone. I said, I have it on the email. And I showed him the attachment. He said, that's fine. And he looked at the date, of course, because you only have 72 hours. And he looked at of course, at the very fine print in there, that negative, you know. And he gave me back the phone, double checked my license plate. He says, what's your license plate? HHTV? And I said, yeah, Heavy Haul TV. I said, that's my YouTube channel. I said, I'm a trucker. And he said, okay. And he said, so you just went across this morning? I said, yes, sir. I said, I just went to get the TWIC. And so he let me go. Thank you, Canada Border Services Agency, for being quick, efficient, and polite. And now we're passing on the right is the Flying J, where I usually stop. But you know, one thing about driving a car, I find, is that I don't get tired as much. You know, a car, I remember when I went to Florida, and you know, it's a vacation, right? And it's like 2,000 kilometers. I still remember 2,000 clicks from Cambridge to Jacksonville. I decided not to go to South Florida. I just went to Jacksonville, and it was really cool. And so it's 2,000 clicks, and because I'm on vacation and hotels are pretty cheap, I thought, okay, I'll just do 500 kilometers a day. And so I found that I could do that with only one stop in the car with no issues. You know, you just drive, let's say 250, 300 kilometers before lunch, then you have a quick lunch, and then you do the rest. And so yeah, in a car it's so much easier, especially when you have a automatic transmission. I really enjoy driving this Charger. So that's it. So basically I think I was more worried than it was worth. So the lineup, as you saw, was pretty small. It's kind of like what I went through in the morning to enter US.
In 3 kilometers, take exit 12 for Regional Road 25, Netherby Road toward Willand.
What? Why would I want to do that? It's probably 9 minutes slower. Before it said 40 minutes. Screw this, I'm not going. Oh wait, yeah, 21 minutes faster. Doesn't allow me to click. Basically that's where the accident, I'm guessing, was. So she wants me to go this way, and then on all these local roads. That's nuts. I'm always very cautious about these detours, you know, especially in a truck, because Google will say, hey, we found a faster route, you know, if you want to save 2.5 minutes, take this one. Yeah, right. And then of course Google Maps, you know, it thinks,
1 kilometer, take exit 12 for Regional Road 25, Netherby Road toward Willand.
yeah, it thinks that you are a car, right? And quite often I cannot go on those roads. Anyway, so what's on the plate?
Take exit 12.
What's on the plate? So since I'm done so early, I thought I'll be tied up there until Tuesday. So I think today,
In 800 meters, turn left onto Netherby Road, Regional Road 25, signs for Netherby Road.
today I'm gonna go and take care of the tires, because they have them. They said they will have them Monday. Today's Monday, and I know he said
In
that.
3 kilometers, take exit 16 for Regional Road 116.
Shut the heck up, you know. And so yeah, I called the shop. I told them I'll be there around lunchtime to pick up the truck. So now I'm gonna go to my yard, park the car, call Uber, and drive. Let them take me back to the place where I was this morning, where I picked up my passport. And then I have to hook the truck to the trailer, make sure I tied down the chains they took off for the booster, because they removed the jack. Man, so now it'll be so much easier to hook up connectors between the booster and the trailer. And then I'll need to update my e-log, because I wasn't there for a few days. You have to sign every date, right? And also, since they moved the truck, I know the e-log will start screaming at me saying that there's unidentified driving time. And so you have to tell them, yes, this was driving, or no, this was like on duty, you know, or personal conveyance. But of course it cannot be personal conveyance, but it was not me. I'm not in the truck, but the mechanic had to move the truck. And then I was thinking, yeah, and of course I have to pay them for the repairs. So they checked the turbo, they fixed the air leaks, they found the oil leak at the oil filter. There was nothing serious, just the oil filter was a bit loose. That Kenworth in Red Deer didn't do a very good job. And then what else did they do? I think they should have fixed that light that keeps burning out in the right turn signal. And then of course they cut off the jack on the trailer. And so I'm guessing it's gonna be around 1,500-1,600 bucks, easy, Canadian. And then we're gonna go and get the wheels and tires at the Cal Tire. And then tomorrow I have an appointment for 1 o'clock to do the alignment on the trailer, because of that incident I had in Kentucky. Oh, and I'm gonna check if this guy answers my email or not, because I emailed the broker asking him for dimensions, because you know all these machines are different, and so I know what I'm picking up, but he didn't give me any dimensions. All I know is weight. And because I'll be loading Thursday going west through Michigan, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be over 10 feet, which means that I cannot be in Michigan on the weekend. So I have to cross Michigan ASAP on Friday. And so I want to order the permits. But this guy, like, I'm a bit suspicious that the first email got rejected, saying that the server could not be found. Like, it's kind of like reminds me with my permit lady that I dealt with for the past 5 years at this permit broker company. And they have a generic email, but then they have each agent has their own email, and that's I would usually use the generic, and then I would copy her own email saying, hey, I just I applied for this permit, you should see it shortly, and I'll give you some tips in there. But now I send her an email and it says email address not found, and that's when I called them and they told me, oh, she's no longer with us. So I'm thinking maybe this guy also switched to a different company or something. So then I gotta make sure I still have the load, because I'm cruising around here spending money left and right, like truck repair and now wheels and tires, and maybe I don't even have a load. That would not be cool. A false alarm about the broker. I just called the guy using my, because I'm in the car, right? So it's very easy to use the hands-free dialing. It says now phone connected. And I called the guy, I called his cell number. I tried Verizon, it says, this call cannot be completed as dialed. And then I realized I have his number saved on my Canadian phone. So I called from that one, and the guy answered on the second ring. So I said, you still there? I thought, something happened because my previous email got rejected. He says, no, everything's fine, I'm here. I said, did you see my emails about dimensions, that I need dimensions? And he said, yeah, I got tied up here. He says, I'm sorry. I said, that's fine. But he told me it's 12 wide, 12 tall. And he told me the length. I said, well, I can order based on that, but if you get me a serial number, that would be great, because sometimes a DOT officer will stop you and they check for that. If it's like some kind of a fake serial number, they don't like that. Like I know in Ohio, right, the guy gave me a ticket for one number being wrong, when instead of CAT 336 I wrote CAT 330. Like, honest mistake. I wasn't trying to hide anything, but he says, well, we see sometimes guys do this when they want to show that the machine is lighter. Basically, when they overload it, and they will use a smaller machine model, which is CAT 330. It's smaller and lighter than CAT 336. But I said, I ordered, look at the axle weights. I said, I ordered full axle weights. I ordered like 10,000 pounds more than what I really am. And the guy still gave me a ticket and made me correct it right there. He says, if you can correct it within like 10-15 minutes, you're fine. And so yeah, especially if your serial number is wrong, you know, that can screw up your weekend for sure, you know. So yeah, the broker is good, and I said, oh, by the way, I noticed on the rate confirmation you wrote that I'm loading Thursday. They want me there exactly at 7 a.m. Okay. And then he says delivery Friday. I don't know, it's like 850 miles. Last time I checked, my truck doesn't have jet engines. It just has a one Cummins engine, diesel. So maximum speed and altitude are severely limited. So I'm sorry, I cannot do 850 miles in one day. I'm old school that way, right? And the guy says, oh yeah, well, I'm sorry, I didn't even look at that. He says we were mostly concerned with the loading date. They were very specific about the loading date and especially time. So you have to be there at 7. And by the way, because of that, I'm thinking I should probably move out, as I call it, move out towards the shipper probably Wednesday night, because I wanna there's a truck stop not too far from them. But if I drive in the morning, I would have to get up like at 5 o'clock in the morning, you know. And so this time there's specific, I mentioned this before, there's a specific requirement from the customer: no video, no photography. So I won't be able to share anything with you guys except to say that it's an oversized load, heavy, something similar to what I did before. But I cannot upset my customer and I cannot upset my broker, because they want confidentiality, you get confidentiality. All you gotta do is ask, right? That guy's doing like 150, guaranteed. Which is, what's the speed limit here? Like some parts it's 110, some parts it's 100. So if you're doing 150 clicks an hour and the speed limit is 100, you can get a ticket for stunt driving or racing, right? It's like a law against those, you know, those racer guys, right? When they find a stretch of road somewhere, they put one guy on the lookout, and then they do some races right in the town with lights, people walking around, and they're racing. And I mentioned this, so the 50 clicks is when this much more serious offense kicks in. Like the speeding, right? There's probably after that, if you're speeding inside a construction zone, that's dangerous driving, so you get 2 tickets: dangerous driving and speeding, which is not good for your points on your license.
Take the Red Hill Valley Parkway exit toward airport.
And the next one after that, the biggie, is this: when you exceed the speed limit by 50 kilometers an hour. So the weather's good, plus 16 Celsius, ladies and gentlemen. The summer is back, so winter is officially canceled. So no winter this at the end of December. Like, look at this. I was so hot in that sweater, I had to take it off because I was really sweating. And I saw ducks in the rear view mirror. Ducks would just fall into the ground because of the odor. You know, they're very sensitive. And so I took off the sweater, and I think I saw one duck was able to jump back in the air, but the others are gone. I'm sorry, I didn't realize it was so bad. So why are we going Red Hill Parkway? 403 West, all lanes closed
800 meters.
before
take the
York
Red Hill Valley
Boulevard.
Parkway exit toward airport. Take the Red Hill Valley Parkway exit, then keep right to continue on exit 89.
I'm sorry, but I have to get in here. 403 West is closed. Man, that's not good.
Keep right to continue on exit 89.
Keep right, okay. Man.
Continue for 20 kilometers.
Yeah, this one actually goes parallel to 403, I think. And I need 403 West to get to 6 North towards Guelph, where my truck is parked. So actually I can go there in my car and drop the car somewhere there, and then take the truck and drive the truck home, and then take the Uber. But that's kind of like awkward way, because once I have the truck, I want to go and take care of the wheels and tires. So on the way back, I'll just drive straight to Cal Tire in Cambridge. You know, when people change lanes like that, always makes me nervous, because I don't know, do they see me? I feel kind of a relief when these newer cars, like mine does not have this, but these new cars, you know, they have a flashing light on the mirror to indicate to the driver that somebody's in his or her blind spot. And I find, to me, that's like, I'm going left, let's say a guy like this, he was changing lanes right in front of me, and I know I'm in his blind spot. But if I see the yellow flashing light in his mirror, I know that he knows that I'm here, you know? If I don't see a flashing light and the guy is driving like that, yeah, this is tricky over here. Like, you don't want to be in the left lane because the speed limit is pretty low here. I'll just probably go here in the curb lane. Let the speeders pass me. It's always a great idea to let somebody else get the ticket, you know? Yeah, that guy in a Mazda, I think he's very cool. Yeah. We're gonna use him as a distraction for the cops. Why you stop me? Well, if you don't know, I don't know. You know, like they always ask you, right? Do you know why I stopped you? And I remember listening to this stand-up comedian, and he was saying, well, when a cop stops me, he says, I'm sorry, sir, if you don't know, if you can't remember, I cannot help you. And the other guy said, another stand-up comedian said, the cop stops me and he says, do you know why I stopped you? And the guy says, is it because of the frozen food in my fridge? And the cop looks at him and says, no. And this guy says, phew, that was a close one. Man, I hope he didn't get arrested, but it was a very, I always listen, like I have, even in this car, right, I have the satellite radio, and I like listening to that stand-up comedy. I have like 5 or 6 channels on here, and then there's another channel, strictly Canadian comedy, like from that Montreal festival. Yeah, there's like 7 or 8 channels just for comedy. And then of course you have your theater, you know, live theater, like old thriller stories, you know, old radio plays. I like those. And then there's probably 70 channels of music, and about, I'm guessing, about 10 channels of news. Like there's Fox News, CNN, Fox Business, CNN Headlines, MSNBC, CNBC, BBC. You know, it's pretty cool. You can listen to British BBC World Service. And then there's you know, what's that other one, about mostly about investments and stocks, you know, that kind of like investment news. Yeah, it's a pretty nifty thing to have, you know, for a trucker. But I don't need it over here, but I'm so used to it in the truck that I got it. And there's a discount. Like I don't pay like the double fee. I think it's like 50% off or something from the second payment. And as a trucker, I know that this lane ends here, and so I hope this guy does not plan to jump in front of me, because this is a really, oh, you see he jumped in front of the pickup truck, because this is a really tricky spot, because there's it's a pretty steep hill, and so they made this extra lane for trucks. And then over here it turns into 2-lane. So yeah, now we're taking this to 403, because according to Google Maps that spot is open, so the accident is somewhere east of that junction where I'm going.
Take exit 55. In 600 meters, turn right onto Highway 52, Hamilton Regional Road 52.
This is a good road, unless you get stuck behind this some slow mover. Now this car, one interesting thing about this car in a sport mode,
Turn right onto Highway 52, Hamilton Regional Road 52.
I switch it to sport mode, and one interesting thing I found is that it's easier to brake. Like it comes to a stop faster when you're in a sport mode, because it shifts more aggressively, like downshifts.
In 800 meters, at the roundabout, continue straight to stay on Highway 52, Hamilton Regional Road 52.
And of course the sound of the exhaust is louder. So now we're gonna stay on this 52. So it's kind of like an alternate route. Like normally I take Highway 6 when I'm coming out of Fort Erie. And Highway 6 pretty much runs parallel to this. So this is 52 to 8, and then I'm gonna end up on the east side of Cambridge in my yard. And probably this is gonna take me, so 35 clicks, about 30 minutes, maybe less. So I'm gonna stop here, right, because the main goal for the topic of the video was crossing the border. And again, as you saw, it was pretty easy, no major delays both ways. Especially on the way back, I was surprised to see, like, I got up at 5 o'clock, right? So that I can pick up my passport ASAP, because I thought, you know, the earlier I show up at the border, the better. And then turns out it was actually easier if I would be crossing around 10. Like at 10 o'clock, when I was already going to Canada on the US side there was one car, you know? Amazing. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Sorry for the long video once again. So you know, you can always speed up. You can change the speed of playback, or you can just skip the parts that you don't like and go to the next part. You don't have to, you know, shy away from the video just because you see the counter shows, let's say, 5 hours and 10 minutes, you know. You can just watch for 5 minutes, you can watch for 10 minutes, it's all good. Ciao.